Guys, welcome back to our almost next to last week of U.S. studies. I can't believe how quickly our time together has gone by. We've been in quarantine over 2 months, and life is starting to open back up, but I still won't get to see you guys, which is disappointing to me. As always, if you need anything, reach out to me via email, via Google Voice, via Remind. However you need to contact me, reach out. Let's make sure that we get through these last couple weeks of the school year the best way possible. I don't want there to be any surprises for you or for your parents. So, keep up on things. Ask if you're having trouble. There isn't much time left in the school year, so if you fall behind now, it's harder to catch up. So, this week's assignments are hopefully going to be interesting in different ways for you. So our first one is an interview on 9/11. Now I've posted some slides for you, which we're going to go through some in class. But our focus for the week is going to be on President George W. Bush. So we're thinking about the controversial election of 2000 that he won very, very narrowly. And he lost the popular vote, but he won the presidency. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but this is very similar to what happened with President Trump and Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. So this was a super, super close call. I mean, it took weeks to decide and recount the votes, recount them by hand because they wanted to make sure that every vote was counted correctly. So, this is George W. Bush. This is Al Gore, who ran against him. And who's this guy? Well, this guy was once again Ross Perot, jumping into things. Okay? And we have people from the Green Party who also came in. The votes got split. So, this was a super tight election, and hopefully we never have something like that again, but they did recount after recount after recount just to determine that Bush becomes president. So, Bush becomes president. The economy takes a downturn. He wants to cut people's taxes. He had some energy policies that favored oil companies, which his family owned a lot of oil. So people thought, is he trying to put money in his own pocket by doing this? And he also put this very controversial educational policy, which you probably have heard of, called No Child Left Behind. So it gave mandatory federal testing for students to see how schools were teaching, if it was effective or not. People hated it, I'll tell you that. So his foreign policy was really defined by the September 11th, 2001 attacks. So on September 11th, the Twin Towers in New York City were both hit by airplanes, and the Pentagon was hit, and it was the biggest terrorist attack on American soil ever. So Bush put out this thing called the Bush Doctrine. He said, we're going to attack other countries before they attack us. They call that preemptive war. So, honestly, this brought his approval ratings way up because people were like, we need to be patriotic. We need to take care of our country. We have to fight them, kill them before they kill us. So, he also expanded surveillance on the citizens of the United States. They call that the Patriot Act. So they could listen in on our phone calls from the NSA. They could detain people if they seemed like they were doing shady activities that could be terrorist in nature. I mean, up to this point, you could walk through an airport just walk all the way, get on the plane without having to show ID. But after September 11th, now everybody has to wait in long lines. They got to look at your ID multiple times, making sure that you are who they say you are, that your stuff doesn't have anything dangerous in it, because we don't want an attack like this again. In addition, Bush sent us back into Iraq because Saddam Hussein, remember we talked about this before, Saddam Hussein, he was in Iraq and he tried to invade Kuwait before, and George H.W. Bush sent him back to Iraq but did not remove him from power. So George W. Bush was afraid that Saddam Hussein was going to continue aiding terrorists and stockpiling these nuclear weapons or weapons of mass destruction. So troops were sent over to Iraq to depose our guy Saddam Hussein and make everything the best that it could be. Let's take out these terrorists before they can attack us. Let's put democracy in these countries. So, obviously, if you want to hear more about this, you can talk to me. And as you're reading stuff this week, looking into things, I think you'll learn more about what happened. But this 9/11 interview, I hope that you find this to be very informative, because you're going to have to interview someone who was at least 10 years old at the time of September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. So, this person should have been born in 1991 or sooner. So, hopefully by interviewing somebody, you're going to see not just a historical perspective, but a personal perspective on this. So, interview them, ask how old they were, where'd they live, what were they doing at the time. People know where they were on 9/11. I talked to you about where I was on 9/11 back when we celebrated September 11th this past year. Excuse me. Then think about also, when you're asking them, did they vote for George W. Bush? Did they not? Did their opinion change after the attack? What were their feelings towards the government before and after this event? So you have these 5 questions here. You have to create 5 more. So you're going to have 10 questions. You can research the 9/11 attacks on these 2 websites. You get to interview somebody. This is a great opportunity. You're at home. So interview somebody at home, or socially distant, call somebody up. Call one of your friend's parents. I don't care. I would love if you could record your interview, because then you don't have to take as extensive notes. If you just use your phone and you sit it down and you ask them the questions, you're recording them, then you're able to go back, and when you are debriefing from this, you're able to listen to it and really get a lot more out of it. I find that an interview can be really, really impactful in that way. So, after you do the interview, you're going to put together a summary. Summarize what you learned. Then you answer these couple questions. What surprised you the most? What do you see as the most significant outcome from the 9/11 attacks? And what did you learn that you might not have learned from a book or a news article, because you had that personal conversation? These are things. You get 3 points for each thing. 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point. So, go through here. This is going to be awesome. I think you can do a really, really good job. See, I have a mistake on here, so I'm going to fix this. It's not due June 1st. It's due the this Friday. Friday, May 29th. Just like in these slides, we have this last slide here, honestly, is not necessary because we're doing our final project a little different. I'll talk to you about that next week. So, just going to take that out. just so we're not confused when we're reading stuff, because I know some of us go back and look at this stuff afterwards. Then your next assignment for the week is your current event. This is our last current event of the year. So, do a good job on it. You know how to do a current event by now. Do your best work on this. Let's all get 10 out of 10. I would love to give that to you. Both of these assignments are due on Friday at 3:30. Now, you have another assignment this week that we're actually going to work on during class. So, you get to pick one partner, and with that partner, you're going to recreate a historical event from the recent past. So, you should have 3 in mind that you might be interested in, because then when I randomly call you, you're going to get to pick one. And once a topic is chosen, no one else can do that topic. So you can ask other people to be in your video too, but there's 2 people for sure that are working together to make this video. Yes, you're not together, but hopefully if it's just 2 people sending stuff back and forth to each other, you can hold each other accountable a little bit more. Okay? So this assignment is not due on Friday. It is due on June the 1st at midnight. So that's next Monday at midnight. So that gives you the rest of this week, the weekend, and Monday to put your finishing touches and have this turned in. So, as always, there's a nice rubric. Does it have a strong message? Does it completely cover your topic? Was your video entertaining while also informative and effective? Did you complete every aspect? Did you show a lot of creativity, motivation, and critical thinking? That it showed that you actually understood the topic? So, everything that you had in your video, was it well balanced? Was I able to hear you? Was I able to see you? Was everything relevant to the video? Etc. So, possible project topics. We got Hurricane Katrina, 2008 election when Obama was elected, the assassination of Osama bin Laden, the Boston Marathon bombing, Supreme Court legalizing same-sex marriage, the Black Lives Matter movement, like Trayvon Martin, that kind of stuff. 2016 election, we're thinking of when Trump was elected, the Las Vegas shooting, the Me Too movement, and college admissions bribery scandal, the beginnings of the coronavirus pandemic, if you'd like to do that. And then we got the President Trump impeachment proceedings and the beginnings of the 2020 election. I would hazard you not to do that one just because so much has been shut down due to the coronavirus. But if you want to take it on, I certainly will send you some stuff to help you. I think this is going to be fun. It's our last video project of the year. Let's end on a high note. So guys, I hope you have a great week. I'm thinking about you, and whatever you need, let me know. I will help you in whatever way I can. Talk to you soon. Bye.